The great quote from Osho that I like to start off with, because this actually has laid the foundation for all the Tantra work that Greg and I do. And I'm going to read it to you. Tantra is the science. Tantra is the science of transforming ordinary lovers into soulmates. And that is the grandeur of Tantra. It can transform the whole earth. It can transform each couple into soul. So Osho described it like this. He said there's basically two worldviews in the world. There's what he called the yogic and the tantric. And I don't think anyone else uses these words for them. But the yogic path would be the type of path where you have to do something to get to God, and there's right and wrong. So there's right things you can do and wrong things you can do. Now, I grew up in the Judeo-Christian tradition, as did most Westerners. And in that religion, very much divided into good things you can do and bad things you can do. And you're going to get punished for the bad things you do. And if you grew up in the same one I did, most of the fun things were bad. Right? Okay? And sex was definitely in the bad category unless you're married and doing it with the lights off. Right? And the sheets over you or something. And then, so there's those traditions. And we could also say they're patriarchal or that kind of thing. And then there's the tantric tradition, which has always been alternate. I've been doing some reading on the history lately, and it's always been outside the mainstream. And that is the philosophy that all is sacred. This moment is sacred. Let's all take a breath on that. Let's just feel that this moment is sacred. So the Western mind immediately jumps in and goes, it's not perfect, it's not sacred, it's too hot in here, the right people aren't here, I don't know if I really ate the right thing for dinner. The mind starts in on why it's not sacred, why it's not perfect. Okay? So in Tantra, part of our practice is to relax ourselves into being able to feel that moment, feel that this moment is perfect and sacred. The mind doesn't think it is, okay? So when I look at the world, I go, I don't really think it's perfect that people are starving and there's wars going on, this thing in Ukraine. But a tantric worldview is somehow, I don't think those are great things, but somehow I trust there's something going on that's sacred. Don't get it. My mind doesn't get it, but I don't even actually know if those things are true because I just read about them in the paper. So we try to relax. So in Tantra, where everything's sacred, sex is also sacred. And for me, that was my introduction. I was in a bookstore and I saw this Tantra book. It said sex is sacred. I went sacred. I went, of course it is. What else is it? Of course. What else? I don't know if anyone else has had that experience. You probably have with a lover at some time, just been like, this is so sacred and powerful. I think most people have also reported that they've had an experience. For example, let's say you go for a hike, you walk up to the top, you see the beautiful vista, and you're full of endorphins, and you're like, you get that moment where, everything's perfect. How many have had an experience like that? Maybe through drugs or exercise or spirituality, or people get it through music. Music's one of the most common ways people have that experience. Just maybe you're at a concert and it's Metallica and you're just like, yes! Something, right? You just get that, everything, wow, you're overcome. So, so sex is sacred, and then of course everyone goes, oh my God, those people over there, they think sex is sacred, and they go crazy on that. And so that's what Tantra, most everyone thinks that's what Tantra is about. And Tantra is very pro and sex positive, but it's probably, an estimate is it's about 15% of Tantra, like you were saying. It's so much more. But the sex part is great. And tantric sex is as great as everyone says it is. But it's a study and a discipline. It's not just a collection of tricks and postures that you can do.